Hello and welcome to this week's Talky Tuesday live stream with me, your host, Winters SEO. Hi and welcome. For those who are wondering, Pussy Watches, he was there and then I started setting up all the things. He left. Elvis has left the building. Hello, Heresy Scott, Red Richmond, Eternal Crusader, Andy H, Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor. Just Craig is in his house, the Hobo. D, Bagus, Maximus, Alan Godfrey. Evening, everyone. Hope you had a lovely time. Can we get this out of the way at the very start? Dinner, tea, supper. What did you have to eat tonight? Me, I had a lovely creamy mushroom pasta. But I thought we'd get the food chat out of the way. Jackus Woods, off the top rope with a steel chair, dropping a £20 donation right at the start of the stream. Thank you very much. Love you, babe. Evening Winters, can't standy tonight. Don't spend this on the loft. See you in the VOD. Be well, everyone. Thanks, Jackers. Have fun wherever you're going. Shout out VOD Squad. Everyone who's watching this as a VOD afterwards, can we get a big fat W in the chat for Jackers Woods, please? He has to leave. He's an international man of mystery. He's got to go. Sometimes duty calls. Stay hydrated, people. What do we have today? Sausage, veg, and gravy. Nice. I had a mochi. I have no idea what that is. What's your opinion of 3.0 Horus Heresy after a while? That's a good question, Silo. Look. Do you remember playing 5th edition? Wasn't that fun? And early 8th edition, that was really fun. There's some editions I remember playing that were just awesome. Heresy 2.0, awesome. Some editions I remember. I remember Battlefield 3. Awesome. Bioshock. The first time you played Bioshock. The first time you watched Firefly. You know, the other things, like The Expanse is good, particularly the first 2.5 seasons, but it ain't no Firefly. But it doesn't mean you're not going to watch The Expanse. How is Heresy 3.0? I'll tell you how Heresy 3.0 is. Yesterday, I played a game of Heresy 3.0. Didn't film it, just for the shits and giggles, right? I lost 45 points to 16. Yeah. 3 times. Beat me 3 times over. And you know what? I had fun. We talked about it afterwards. There was some nice challenges going on. Some weird tactical plays happening here or there. It was fun. Okay? Battlefield 5 is no Battlefield 3. But it didn't stop me playing it. It's fun. I'm having fun playing Heresy 3.0. I lost horribly and I had a great time. Sam Nash has been a member for 44 months. It's a long time. Thank you very much. Can we get back to the food chat? We'll get on to Warhammer in a minute. This is almost like mochi is a Japanese rice cake. Is it now? Bolognese, generous portion of cheese on top. Just Craig, generous portion. Mainly cheese, a little bit of bolognese. That's a proper dinner, that is. Remember the stream, to like the stream, peeps. Oh yeah, a couple of likes would be nice. Yeah, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. And Amazon Primes to your Twitch. And become a member. Become a channel member. It really helps. Thank you very much. Time for yelling at clouds. Iron of the Spoon, we do not yell at clouds. We're professional. We don't say anything inappropriate. We never yell at clouds. We're constructive. We give constructive feedback to the clouds. Sausage, chips, scrambled egg and beans. The Eternal Crusader. Oh my Emperor. That's a good dinner right there. Sausage, chips, scrambled egg and beans. I thought you were in the colonies. Do they even have beans in the colonies? I'm not sure. Even there, like, do they have chips? They have French fries. I feel we could yell at... what? If there's any clouds that need yelling at, we could. Just get the Iron of the Spoon. Just got here about what we're not screaming at... Listen. It's Talky Tuesday. Community catch-up. And what we do is we talk about food and occasionally the Warhammers. And we never yell at a cloud. Poor we get our beans from Mexico. Nice. The Hobo's been a member for 32 months. Been a long time. And how do I get a rematch, Winters? You in the Discord? Hit me up in the Discord. I'm booked this year. You're looking at next year. It rained here today, so pie weather for me. Nice pie. You can't complain about a nice pie. Unless it was a bad pie. Then you can complain. Like a steak and kidney pie. Who put the kidney in the steak and kidney pie? Why can't we just have a steak pie? I don't understand. Isn't kidney like one of those meats that they used to leave out and no one liked? And that's why they have to put it in other stuff. If you have the kidneys and the liver and the thing. I don't understand. Can we yell at clouds that stop me seeing the eclipse? Was there an eclipse? Was there? I've seen one in my lifetime. I do remember an eclipse. But yeah, clouds. You can yell at them. If they stop you seeing an eclipse, you can go, "Why, you clouds? You pesky clouds." You can yell at them then. Where Des? Hi, I made it. Hi, Craven. Thanks for coming. Craven AMG is off the top rope with a steel chair. Gifting 10 memberships. Thank you very much. Can we drop a big fat GG's in the chat for Craven dropping all this? That really helps. Thank you. If you have received a membership, then that gives you tier 2 access, and that's the Discord. You get the Discord thing for £1 more a month, though. You could upgrade your membership to tier 3, and you'll get an extra battle report every single Wednesday. Oh dear, it's been a while. Physical therapy was early today. Oh yeah, I forgot you had a thing. How's the thing going? Are you feeling better? Are we getting better? Is this better? Is it still terrible? Are you know, he had a shark attack. For those that didn't know, Craven shark attack. It was horrible. He had most of the lower part of his body ripped off. Okay, he looks a bit like RoboCop right now. Physical therapy, teaching him how to shark attack. Tell everyone it's a shark attack. Blood Buffalo has been a member for 14 months. Josh Allen is the Emperor. Evidence grows. Go Bills. Blood Buffalo. I watched that game. And I was thinking of you while I was watching that game, thinking, I was preparing some witty lines like you're going to be having heart attacks about Derrick Henry for years to come, because that guy was running rampant. I think you took him down once in the backfield, but he was running rampant. He was rampaging, Jacksoning all over the place. And then what have you done? Josh Allen, the Bills. Comeback of the century, probably the best game of the season. It's only week 1. Did the shark recover? Nice. Therapy is working. I should be back to work on October the 6th. Damn it. Tell him the therapies go badly. Tell him I need another month and go back to work on September the 7th or something. September after? No, that's closer. November. Go back to work on November. Say, yeah, I need a bit longer to figure out how to spin the gun and put it back in the holster when I do the Robocop things. My doctor is an Archmagos, so I'm doing all right. I run mostly on motor oil now. Yeah, did the shark. I like that one. That's a Chuck Norris thing, isn't it? I once got bit by a poisonous snake, and after days of agonizing pain, the snake died. I think that was in the Expendables. I think. Those the space sharks will bite anyone. How do you say how do you say that? Carcharodons, my Sharona. How do you say Carcharodon? Why has it got CH in it then? Why has it got CH in it? In all seriousness, I had surgery on my back for a herniated disc. I'm telling everyone it's a shark attack. Don't say you got like a herniated disc or anything. It's got to be shark attack or lion zombie thing. A zombie thing. But he's feeling better. Thanks for checking. He's feeling better from his shark attack. Carcharodon. It isn't Carcharodon if it's got Carcharodon. Road. How doesn't? What does wreath? Why does wreath have a W? Because of the W. Because of where. Spelling is difficult. I'm not going to try and say it. Probably because French. The shark. Yes, the shark herniated his disc while he was fighting the shark off and punched it, gave it a bloody nose, and wrenched his way out of the shark's mouth. He nasty bat. Put a bit of plasters on just the shark bites. A few plasters here or there. Maybe a bandage. Had a couple of paracetamol. Fine. But the disc, though, when he twisted to get out of the shark's gob, that was a bit of a struggle. English is hard. I know, because it's not really a language. It's like 3 different languages smashed together, isn't it? Carcharodons. That sounds sensible, doesn't it? Armin. Thank you for help. Carcharodons sounds like how, yes, it's pronounced like that, but it's written in Latin with a ch. Anytime there's letters that don't get pronounced, what? You need to be careful when you beat off a shark. Yeah, you need to be careful when you beat off a shark. It wasn't a normal shark. It was a shark from what? Space sharks. It was space sharks in space. Nice. Oh dear. So we've done the food chat. We've done the food chat. Okay. Craven's okay. Shout out VOD Squad. Everyone watching this as a VOD afterwards. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for coming by this evening, guys. Hope you're doing all okay. 2 weeks ago, give us a little teaser of what to expect at the end of the death. A little narrative. 2 weeks to go. Yes. It is 2 weeks to go before the end and the death. The narrative event that I am running on the 27th, 28th of September at Element Games in Manchester. 4 battles. 2 battles a day. 2 days. The end and the death. It is the end and the death of Gehenna Prime. Once a prime world that controlled an entire subsector. Now a ruined post-apocalyptic wasteland. And the Great Rift, when it ripped through the galaxy, it was right on the edge of the Gehenna system, and it's been growing. And someone took the Tears of Magnus off the planet and ran away with them. It's coming and slowly swallowing the planet, and everyone's going to die. It's going to be fun. That's about as much narrative as I can give you right now. I've written loads of stuff down. This pad is full, but I need to actually sit down and draw it together. I know the missions. I know the twists and turns. I know the beginning bit and the end bit and the bits in the middle. That's the important stuff. But I need some kind of script, I think. I don't normally do scripts, though. I might just jump around and shout. Shout from, yeah. Wish I could play another mini. Yeah, you're mini wargaming at the same time. Lovely people. Say hi. Say hi to the guys for me. The beginning is the end, and the end is the death. Simples. It's just Craig. It's grim in the dark, and so the end and the death is going to be very grim dark. The idea is I've already got people who are already submitting lists and things. I've got about a dozen lists. So shout out those people who've already sent them through. People are already locked in. This is what I'm doing. I'm sure there's probably a balanced data slate thing coming out at some point in September though. So I might get those lists again. Isn't there points? Or isn't there a balanced data slate coming? It's like every 3 months. Aren't we due one? I think it's been 3. I think the last one was June. I think one's due next week or the week after, or probably just the day before the narrative event, which will royally screw things up for people. But yeah, shout out to the people who already sent through the lists. Leaning into the narrative, the ones that I've seen, which is good. The idea that you've been abandoned, cut off, or the evac was destroyed, or you came in spores and were never meant to get off in the first place, or you were the rear guard holding off the airlifts, the last desperate airlifts, and there was no airlift for you, or the battle barge up in space that you were going to go to, bulk cruiser, name that thing, got blown up in the Navy battle up in orbit, and there is nowhere to go. You're trapped, surrounded. The clock is ticking. And the end and the death of Gehenna is coming. Waiting to see if my nerfed Death Guard gets more nerfed. See, Death Guard went up across the board by about 10%, and I don't think it's enough. They're still pretty strong. But yeah, there's definitely tomorrow maybe, says the Eternal Crusader. Yeah, I think, is it Wednesday? Yes, Wednesdays they normally happen, right? So there's definitely one this month at some point. There's nearly always one in September. Because then there's one in December, like the year-end one. So it's every 3 months. Yeah, there is one. There is a balance data slate coming at some point. Blood Buffalo played 3.0 on Sunday. Heresy, excellent experience. White Scars and Blood Angels versus Iron Warriors. Lost horribly, but Zephon survived. The Bringer of Sorrows. Nice. Well, I'm glad you had a good time in your first 3.0 Horus Heresy game. I am enjoying it. And Rue is here. Off the top rope with a steel chair. There's no small donations this evening. It's all lovely big ones. Thank you so much. Rue, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I'll see you at the end of the death as well. Assuming that you're coming. I'm thinking you're coming. I'm pretty certain you're coming and that your thing is better. Your shark attack you've recovered from. You're better. You've lost about 28 stone. You're going to be tiny when I see you. GG's for Rue. Thank you very much, Rue. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. Where was I? So how you guys been? You been okay? Done any hobbying? I've done some hobbying. There was a battle report that went up on Sunday. I don't know if you watched it. Did you guys watch the Luton battle report on Sunday? Did you like that one? That one was fun. Lots and lots of knights and a titan. It's always nice to play with Luton. See, here's the thing. I bet you wouldn't know it, but I can chat quite a bit. And Luton can really chat. So get 2 of us in a room together, and the battle report takes about 3 times as long to film as it normally does because we won't shut up. And we were just chatting. It's like he's paid to talk, and me too. And yeah, it was really good fun. Really hot and sweaty in that room when we filmed that one. Lots of knights rampaging across the table. Luton's idea to do the custom rules thing, which I'm always, because I normally come up with custom missions all the time. He likes to add the custom rules thing. One of the things that why doesn't Games Workshop sell stuff like Dawn of War Onslaught in the UK? I don't know. But yeah, it was Knights and Knights action. One of the things that I've taken away recently after dabbling with Titans a couple of times is this. Why are Titans bad? Chat. Why are Titans bad? They don't even have a 2-up save. They have a 3-up save. If there was anything built to have a 2-up save, it's a Titan. Because that saves us money. Titans are bad, saves us money. Luton game was awesome. Really need a lot of knights. Yeah, he started off with a knight. So if you only have 3 and a warhound, knights are contagious. Knights just, they decide. Can't decide if my Terminators, Saturnine Terminators, Blood Angels or White Scars. Help me chat. Blood Angels. Blood Angels. If you are doing Saturnine Terminators, I know disintegration cannons have overload too, but the plasma mortar bombard thing, it's not very good. Just load them up with as many disintegration guns as you can. My advice. I was mixy matchy, and I should have just put disintegration ones all over the place. And the problem with Saturnine Terminators, I know they're toughness 6 with 3 wounds, but that's 1 melter hit. 3 damage melter hit, gone. So they're not as resilient as you think they would be. When I finish with Reaver, we'll get them on the table. Yes. Hopefully in 3.0, Titans are like proper good. Because one laser blaster at an Imperial Knight should destroy an Imperial Knight. It's a laser blaster. It's a Titan primary gun on a Reaver Titan. A Reaver Titan being the main battle Titan for most of the Titan legions. Warlord is an overclassed one. If it points one, it should be a dead target, but both, and it just bounced. It bounced. Incredibly hard to balance against squishy armies. See, the thing is, they shouldn't just balance them against squishy. What it should be is against really multiple squishy armies with loads of little things running around all over the place. A Titan still just kills one thing, or kills another thing, or kills another thing. But it should overkill that one thing. If it points at a unit of Gantz, that unit of Gantz should be gone. If it points at a tank, that tank should be gone. If it points at an Imperial Knight, it should be gone. It's very big guns. And if you're going up against a Titan, you should know that's what it does. It's a Titan. Clarky, thank you for the donation. The mortar is just to look good. Yeah, on the top. What's that all about? The Apocalypse Missile Launcher, the mortar. Thank you for your donation. GG's for you, Clarky. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's supposed to rain clusters and clusters and clusters. Strip shields, and then they shoot with the other things, you know? Titan should have hits on 2s. Yeah, they hit on 3s, and then when they get injured, bear in mind they're like 60 wounds. When they got like 20 left, they're hitting on 4s. I think here's the thing. It should definitely have a 2-up save in this edition, and if 11th edition is a refresh, not a redo. No, sorry, is not a complete refresh. If it's just a, like the rumours suggest, it's just more 10.0 tweaked, then they should have a 2-up save. They should have a 2-up save. And the Void Shield on this provides a 4-up invulnerable save to shooting attacks, instead of the normal 5-up invulnerable save that an Iron Shield provides to shooting attacks. The Void Shield on this. The Void Shield on the Titan is still a 5-up, not a 4-up. So a 2-up save with a 4-up invulnerable save would be lovely. And as for offensive output, I don't know if you've heard of a mechanic called Devastating Wounds. But if you get shot at by a Titan, I think that's slightly devastating. If there was a gun that the rule Devastating Wounds was made for, the primary armament on a Titan fits that bill. Not some Eldar spear, not some clickety-claw. Demonettes, toughness 3, 5-up invulnerable save, 1 wound demonettes with their clickety-clackety claws. Little demonettes running around. They have devastating wounds. Why? And a Titan doesn't. And a Titan doesn't. The demonettes have devastating wounds and a Titan doesn't. Are we yelling at clouds? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. What do you think? It could have been 1+ save and still die with the app. Yeah. Here's my spicy take. Knights and Titans should become their own game. Spicy meatball. Luton's card things need to be in the game. Dude, yes. He basically ripped them straight from Titanicus. They are in the Titanicus game. Well, he didn't rip them. He tweaked and he was like, right, I need to bring these along. Yes, overloaded shields, a thing that charges in and presses the button and blows up and blows them around. They were pretty devastating as well, yes. Why is there no sustained lethal or devastating wounds on Titan weapons? That's what I am saying. That's what I'm saying. The cards were awesome. The cards were like yeah. Yes, the cards were awesome. There could be, like you said, if the Knights and Titans were in their own game, say they released, I don't know, there could be a deck, there could be a PDF. They do PDFs. There could be something that they do, which is the PDFs or a deck of cards or something. So when you play Knights on Knights, you take from the deck, and it's got awesome stuff in it, like a once per battle 3-up invulnerable save, but also charge in, press the button, blow up, detonate the plasma core, things like that. It could have some of the Titanicus strats and things in there to make a knight on knight thing and juicy. There's juicy things you could do. There's definitely more story you can tell. We Titan owners do play full scale to Titanicus. I know, it's nice, isn't it? Titans should lose 25% of their point cost. Yeah, I mean, 25% of their point cost will get the Reaver Titan down to about 2,200. It's math. 500. That would that would be 550. That would 21 minute. 5% of 220 is like 10 points. It's great. It'll only be about. Yes, it would still suck a bit. You could keep the rules and drop the points. But then I want my Titans to point at a thing with anger, and then you have to pick that thing up. You just pick it up. There's like, that's a Titan shooting a thing is dead. Unless you roll like I don't know. It just people spend I don't know if you noticed, but people spend a lot of money on Titans as well. They're quite pricey. It would be good if they were good. Luton inspired me to make my own PDF card codex for my custom Imperial Guard forces. Luton is an inspiration to us all. If they're trying, they're spelled incorrectly, by the way. On the spoon, it's THEY apostrophe RE. You know, they are there. If they're trying to appease competitive groups, see, look, Reaver Titans 2,200 points. You can't bring it to anything competitive anyway. So just make it feel like a Titan. Titan point cost has always what? Titan point cost has always be high, or you risk meta Titans. There's no meta Titans. They're like, you can't bring them in the normal things. And they've always been expensive, and they've never been allowed in the things. Expensive points-wise and expensive IRL. They've always been expensive. And they used to be brutal as well, but they're just not brutal anymore. I don't mind bringing a knight in part of it. Yeah, a knight is fine. A knight is fine. Anyone can add a knight to an army. Chaos army, Imperial army. You can add knights to things. It's allowed. And honestly, at a competitive level, if you haven't got a list that can kill a knight or a chaos knight fairly easily-ish, then you haven't got a list. That's how competitive stuff works. That's why you don't see knight in competitive lists. You might see a couple of the baby knights running around all over the place. Dice taste amazing. Don't eat dice. Real issue is bring back Gabriel Seth. Death to Gabriel Seth. Death. I think he's probably going to come back. Like Drago, like all those things, they'll come back in their new beefed up Primaris form. Titans need dev wounds. That's what I'm saying. Dev wounds 5+ and all their guns. Boom, done. That's what I'm saying. If the raw devastating wounds is written for anything, it's written for a bellicose volcano cannon. And I bet even the bellicose volcano cannon on the Warlord Titan doesn't even have devastating wounds. Someone look it up. Someone check it out now. Does the bellicose volcano cannon, which is the strongest gun in the Imperium of Man that is not mounted to a spaceship, does that have devastating wounds? An Imperial Guardsman could punch a good Titan to death. That's the thing. Like in 40k, Imperial Guardsmen wound that Titan on 6s. And if they've got some sort of +1 to wound thing, then Imperial Guardsman punching a Titan will wound it on 5s. And it has a 3-up save. Whereas in Heresy, you can't punch the thing. You can, but you can't hurt the thing. Have you ever thought of making your own codex cards for the Titans or tweaking their stats? No. I play the game in front of me. Hi Nate Body. Bring back templates, says Alex Neal. Heresy, play Heresy. Templates are in Heresy. No, it has blast. It has blast. Someone checked it, did they? It has blast but non-devastating. So a bellicose volcano cannon doesn't have... I'll tell you, this is the thing. When the Warlord Titan in 6th edition had Bellicose Volcano Cannon had a rule called World Burner. And it fired the big 10-inch blast marker down, the dunk, and it was a destroyer hit. We won't even go into destroyer weapons and what they did now, but it fired this template down, with dunk. And if the template hit a terrain item, like a ruin or some trees or a crater, then you rolled for that terrain item, and on a 4-up, you pick it up. You just pick up the terrain item. It just destroys it. And every single model in that item of terrain, it would clear the board. There's a big ruin over there. I can't see past it. Boom. Dead piece of ruin. World burner. That was a Titan rule. That's the kind of things that you want your Titans to have in games of Warhammer. I want to go up against that in games of Warhammer. Don't worry, guys. We're in the bunker. We've got lance cannons. We've got the things. We're in the thing. Boom. No more bunker. On a 4, you picked it up and all the things. Bellicose. D3 plus 3. Hits on a 3-up. What's that all about? Hits on a 3-up. Strength 32. That's what I like to see. Strength 32. So anything toughness 16 or less, it's wounding on 2s. Good. AP minus 5. Damage 18 blast. See, here's the thing. Like I did with the laser cannons. Say you do D3 plus 3 and you hit and you wound and you do anything. It's a damage 18 blast, which sounds great. But if you make your invulnerable saves, you're not picking anything up, you know. 120-inch range, strength 32, AP minus 5, 18 wounds, yeah. So it's really, really big. Can a guard soldier with enough lucky rolls survive a volcano cannon hit? So if you get hit and wounded, no. Not at AP minus 5, no. But if you have an invulnerable save, yeah, you can survive a volcano cannon hit. Or if the volcano cannon somehow rolls 1s to wound on all the things below it, you know? My game store uses profiles for terrain. Weapons like demolisher cannons are great for knocking terrain down. Nice. Should have had the old 2nd edition Thunderhammer rules to wound auto. That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. Well, it used to have it did have something called destroyer weapons back in the day. And if you hit with a destroyer weapon, you didn't roll to wound. You just rolled on the destroyer table. And if you rolled a 1, then it lived. But basically a 2 to 6 and it was dead. A 2 to 3 was like low number of, was enough penetrating hits to kill a thing anyway. Maybe unless it was a Land Raider. A 4 or 5 was more penetrating hits, definitely killed a Land Raider. And the 6s, it hits, here's the 6, you pick it up. I like destroyer stuff because it felt mean when you get shot. There was a battle report way back on the channel, me versus Steve, not Rob, and I had a bunch of knights and he had a bunch of knights, and he shot one of my knights. This is like 9 years ago now, maybe 10. He shot one of my knights with his knight, and when they blew up they did destroyer hit damage as well. Knights did this. They brought the destroyer rule into 7th edition, which was a mistake, and then everyone freaked out and then they got rid of the destroyer rule. They brought it into regular games. They should have never brought it into regular games. It should have only stayed in Apocalypse games. But anyway, they brought it into the regular games. And when knights blew up, they did destroy hits. And he shot a knight and it blew up. And it did a destroy hit and blew up the knight next to it. It was glorious. It was glorious. I live for those moments. That's a lot of Warhammer there. D weapons were fun. Like Horus Heresy 2 vehicles damage. Yeah, that's pants. If a guardsman gets hit, there shouldn't be a wound roll or set. Yes, there shouldn't. If a guard gets hit, if anything squishy gets hit by a Bellicose Volcano cannon, that thing is dead. Mathematically, an intercessor squad will survive a volcano cannon. No, don't tell me these things. Also, Titan Void Shields should give them a special rule. The strength of... Yeah, they used to... I like the Heresy. The Heresy rules gets it right, because you've got these shields that you need to get through. You just damage the shields first before they collapse, and then you actually start hitting the thing and doing hull points, doing wounds to the thing. And it has an opportunity to reignite one or two shields as well. So next turn it's like, damn it, it's got a shield back. I have to take down the shield first before I start shooting the guns at the head, at the leg, at the thing, you know. So that's quite nice. Yeah, that works. Cribcrafter. Hi Winters, I played during 8th edition and they slowly stopped playing recently. Watched 10th edition and there have been very big changes. Do you expect the same from 10th to 11th? Thanks for asking a Warhammer question. The rumours are that 10th to 11th there will not be big changes. It will be a refresh. 8th to 9th, it didn't change that much. There was a refresh and you could carry your codexes over. I think 10th to 11th, there won't be a full refresh. I think it'll be a tightening up. And I don't think we're going to get loads of indexes at the start of the edition. I think you'll be able to carry your codexes over. But they reset it in 8th. They reset it in 10th. And we get an edition every 3 years. So is this a new tempo that Games Workshop are trying out? A reset every 2 editions. And a new edition every 3 years, but like a reset every 6. 10th and 8th are similar, but different. It's got the same core mechanic underneath, but the way you build an army, you've got the rule of 3 now. They used to have Force Org. And then there's the devastating lethal, those sorts of things were in it. And also plus or minus to wound, to hit. You can only go up or down 1 now. If you want to shoot something, you can never be nerfed like -3 to hit or +3 to hit. That can't happen. It's only plus or minus 1 max. And in 8th, you could be nerfed. So 7s to hit. So you couldn't actually hit a thing. There were many Orc players screaming at the clouds, which was something we never do on this channel, that they couldn't shoot a thing because they hit on 5s and it's a thing, so they have to hit on 6s, and then it had -1 to hit, and then they were hitting on 7s. But if you're an Orc player, then you're mainly just spraying guns at clouds anyway, bullets all over the place, and having a jolly good time while doing it. And Servo Skull has come in, snuck in, and dropped 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Servo Skull. You absolute legend, you. Can we give Servo Skull some love in the chat, please? Can we give him a big round of GGs? GGs to you, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Frank the Fuzzball is in the chat as well, which could be Frank Techborough, and it could be another Frank entirely, because Techborough Frank changes his name like all over the... But Red Richmond, hello. D-Bags Matt, we've said hello. All I want in 11th edition is I want all the codexes released in the first 12 to 14 months. Yeah, that would be lovely. It isn't going to happen though. We got all the indexes, at least in 11th. We had 10th. We had all the indexes come. Frank the Fuzzball, there is only one Frank. Frank Spencer? Frank Bruno. That's 2 Franks right there. Frankenfurter. Frankenstein, not Frankenstein. Great movie. The most you're going to get with all the codexes getting dropped straight away is when we have indexes that drop straight away. Like 8th edition, we had some indexes that dropped straight away. So it was a reset. So everyone started off with the end. And then 10th edition had all the index cards. So all the codexes, boom. So this is the thing. Like, we're still waiting on the Guard Codex. No, that came out. We're still waiting on the Drakari Codex. Yes. So when that drops, Drukhari players will have it for 6 months. And then there'll be either a new edition with indexes, and then that codex is useless, or there'll be no indexes and they will tweak the core rules and then just roll over. That's what normally happens. And we'll get a new Space Marine codex at the start of the edition. That's what you'll get. But the Guard codex and the ones that came out recently, what came out recently? Off the top of my Space Wolves, Black Templars, Grey Knights, those sorts of things, they'll still be good to go, even when the edition changes, for at least a year or so until they get their own new codex. It's whole new index thing every edition or rollover. Some people like the rollover idea because then their book isn't like Drukhari players. Their book is going to be valid for 6 months and then useless. And that's what happened last time to World Eaters players and to other, yes. Or, so do you want to refresh new indexes and then your book is useless and particularly annoying if you just got it? Or do you want it to roll in to the new edition? And then if you roll into the new edition, what happens is the older edition codexes start to feel real clunky real quick. Like there'll be new codexes dropped for Space Marines, Orcs, Eldar, all of that sort of stuff. And you'll be sat on your Black Templars codex and a year will go by and it'll feel a lot different from the new codexes dropped for the new edition. It'll feel, whereas the index, at least the index kind of works. You know what I mean? It's, what do you do? I mean, personally, new index every edition. Just reset every. That's. I mean, do I mean that though? Do I really? I'm not sure. I don't. I mean, if they just released all the codexes, like every 3 years we get an edition, and if all the codexes came out in the first 18 months, that'd be nice. And then the second 18 months, we could have like they're doing the Grotmas thing, or we could have there could be other things, or they could focus instead on doing some narrative stuff, or I don't know. I don't think they know either. Do they know? Do you know? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? I don't know. Do you know? Hi, boss. You missed my first. It's Sullivan Gilbert is in his house. Sullivan Gilbert. Sven Axfist was round on Sunday. Had a lovely game versus his Slaanesh Demons. He's as old as you. I've played against people who are really, really, really old in the studio a couple of times now. And you're not just the oldest one. You're equally old to Mr. Axfist there. It was nice. Like I asked him, how old are you? And he told me his age. And I fell around laughing. I rolled around the floor. Ah, you old fossil, you. Ha, ha, ha. Bet your knees hurt. You know what I mean? It's nice being the young one in the room. That won't happen. Games Workshop will never drop codexes for digital rules. I wish they should. They should. They should, though. Frank Spencer. My God, list never change. Can we get the old Force Org chart, please? I mean, it was in. I would have said go to Heresy. It's in Heresy, but they torpedoed that in Heresy as well now. So there is a Force Org chart in Heresy, and if you want Force Organization, that's where you go. It is 7 pages long with a flow diagram. I feel like the Death Strike missile needs a bit more work. Oh yes, Death Strike missile should be a Goram Death Strike missile. It should sting a little bit. I mean, Brat brought one along in that 3-on-3 the 4-on-4-on-4, the 4-way. We had a 4-way with the Guard. It was horrible. I think Games Workshop knows, but people keep buying codexes out of date on release, so it's a system that works for them, not for the community though. Yeah, I mean, so long as they're selling books, I want my litanies back. You've got vowels now. Litanies are gone. Gone? You have vowels. My knees hurt in my 20s. But when you get to your 50s, dude, you're going to be screwed. I mean, Sullivan Gilbert, he needs, it's just a struggle, okay? Even going to the toilet, he needs help there. Bring Vortex weapons back. Vortex weapons were cool. Bring Apocalypse back. Talked about this last week. There should be big games, small games. Bring an Apocalypse rule set back with Vortex weapons. Better Force Org chart in Heresy. Yes. the Heresy 3.0, the bit at the beginning and the bit at the end. Those are the bits that I have trouble with. The Force Org at the beginning and all the missions at the end. There's not enough missions at the end and 4 turns. And the Force Saga at the beginning. The bit in the middle, though, the bit in the middle is lovely. The actual playing of the game. I refuse to play Horus Heresy 3.0 until Heteron Guard for my Custodians come back. That was my sole reason for getting to Heresy. Heteron Guard, not in the PDF at all. I mean, the Heteron Guard, there's... How many of them is there? At the time of the Heresy, there was 200. Master of Mankind, all of them except for Rar Endymion, he died as well. One of them got out of the War in the Webway, and there was only 1,000 of the 10,000 left by that. There wasn't very many left. What about them announcing the final codex before any end of edition narrative? What a change. What? There's 300 of them, but 200 are in the throne room. The other 100 serve the Captain General. Poor Sullivan. Don't worry about poor Sullivan. He's fine. Okay? He's fine. He's really, really old. He's probably going to die soon. He's fine. He doesn't have to buy any more shoes because he's so old. He's got the last shoes he's ever going to need. The last jacket he's ever going to wear. You don't have to worry about... He doesn't have to worry about anything anymore because, you know, he's ancient. That's what happens when you get really, really old. It's like, you know, you just... I'm done. I don't... Imagine getting to a point in your life like, I don't need any more miniatures because there's no way I'm going to paint all these before I'm dead. And Sullivan Gilbert is so old, there's no way he can paint all of his miniatures before he dies. So he's even selling a bunch of the old Rogue Trader lead miniatures in the Discord. I don't know if you noticed it, but he's got some of the OG ones. They're like rocking horse drop-ins. They are. If you go on eBay and put in like Rogue Trader lead stuff, they're really, really expensive. He's getting rid of them because he's never going to paint them. I think he's like, it's like, you know, really, 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 really old. Like beginning to smell old. That sort of old, you know? Whereas me, I'm just a young whippersnapper. I'm miles younger than him. Ouch. Yeah. Winter's off the top rope with this steel chair. Yeah. We do these things. Off the top rope. Sullivan, are you coming along to the end of the death as well? I'll see you there. Are you bringing someone to help drive and carry things? Are you going to be there? What are we talking about? Titans. We covered Titans. We covered Heresy 3.0. We covered the game at the weekend, the one versus Luton. What's on the schedule this week? Wife is 10 days older than me. I make sure she remembers. Sullivan isn't coming to the end of the death. The wife is having a hip replacement. Oh man, oh sorry. Hopefully it's fine. Hopefully everything will go fine. Those things happen when you're old though. My mates, one of my best friends' parents just had a hip replacement. His mum did, and then a year later his dad did, and they're both fine. Everything's fine. Okay, it's a standard surgery now when you get really old, and yeah. So your turn probably next year. I turned 50 on Friday. Your speech makes me feel much younger. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like, look, one of the benefits of getting so old, D. Bagus Maximus, one of the benefits is all the respect that you get from the younger generation. Yeah. For your wisdom and experience. They come up to us and ask, like, hey, how should we fix this thing? And hey, how should we do this thing? And where should we go? And what should we wear? And because you're so wise in the ways of the Schwartz, you can tell them. You've been round and round the sun 50 times and you still haven't fallen off yet. Is there a reason? It's been 10 months since Sultan has uploaded. His videos are fantastic. Is he taking a break? That's a good question. Sultan's YouTube channel. He was trying the YouTube thing, putting videos up here, there, and everywhere. Doing his Instagram here, there, and everywhere, and he enjoyed making them, enjoyed putting them up. But two things happened. One, he changed his job, and so the last year of putting the YouTube ones up was. It's when you do YouTube, it becomes another hobby. So as well as his hobby, he was doing another hobby, which is filming about his hobby and putting them up. So it was a time constraint thing going on there. And then the second thing was, he was tired of all the trolls. He was on a live stream like a couple of months ago talking about it. He got sick of all the... it was a lot of effort. And then he put something on the internet and then someone shits on it from a great height. And he was like, why am I bothering? So he was like, I'm gonna take, he is taking a break or stopping it, or he's just like, nah. Hey up, Pawkins. We'll set the score when I send the boys round in a few weeks. Yeah. Are you coming? Oh, you are coming. That's next month, yes. If a kid approaches you respectfully in Swindon, there is another behind you stealing your wallet. Yes. I think he's fallen out of love with YouTube, which is understandable. Yes. He has fallen out of the love with the YouTube. I complimented the Thai Imperial Guard off. Yeah. He's a good people and his painting is top notch. Yeah. And I thought some of his videos were, I liked some of his, all of his videos were great. I thought some of his videos were very good. But, one of the things that happens is if you get a really good video with lots of comments on and lots of people watching it, then on the bell curve, you get more people at the top end saying, that's awesome. But you get more people at the bottom end of the bell curve saying, that's a big pile of monkey shit, and screaming at you for all sorts of weird reasons. And that number grows. So he did one, I think it was his best ever video, the one with like turning a tank into a house. I got like 100,000 views or something. It got a lot of views. And he came around here a few times and he was like, to play, and he was like, what about this comment? And what's happening here? And this guy said this. And I'm like, you just gotta let that shit go. If you're putting stuff on the internet, you need to grow a really thick skin. Or not care. He said, yeah, but I did the thing and they're talking about the barrels. The barrels weren't filed down. I said, yeah, but do you care if the barrels weren't filed down? I don't care if the barrels weren't filed down. He was saying, I don't file my barrels down. It wasn't about the barrels. It was about this and this. I'm not going to drill out the barrels. It's like, well, if you don't care, then yeah. So it's a drip effect. So if any of you are thinking about going on the YouTubes, please be aware that you will create some stuff. At the start, it's lovely because the bell curve very small. At the start, it's really lovely. You don't get very many views. You don't get very many people looking at your videos. But as it grows, then the edges of the bell curve get just pushed out, and you will meet a lot more bell ends in your comment section. It's yeah. Yeah. Drill your barrels, Winters. No! Don't drill the barrels. I don't drill the barrels. Sultan maybe. What? Man, I'm young. You're 27, honest, but that's cheap. So may not know he's on the. Sultan does. Sultan has got ADHD. He has got or ADHD. I forget what he's got. He's got a thing. He takes meds. Yeah. He can get hyper focused. Sultan is aware of yes. I mean, I think yes. I shouldn't really speak for him, but yeah, he's a hyper focused special mushroom. He's a very special mushroom, and he takes his little pills, and that levels him out a bit. And I love his hyper focus because when he says, "Hey, I'm going to paint this brand new army and get it all done for the end of the month," he will paint the brand new army and get it all done by the end of the month, plus an extra 500 points and turn round, and there it all is there, and we'll play. And then we'll play again, and then we'll play the third time and film it. Like, yeah, we've got it down now. Let's film it. Let's go. Sometimes we don't even pre-film. He's like, Ph-dum. Sultan is, yeah, yes. So it got to him a bit, so he quit. So how are we doing, chat? We did talk about dinner, talked about heresy. Luton's thing, we talked about the Luton thing. Talked about the end and the death. Tomorrow, how much do you think you have spent on models? What, in a year? Or overall? I know, it's tens and tens of thousands of pounds overall. In a year, it's a few thousand a year every year. And paint and everything. Fortunately, I get a chunk of stuff from Games Workshop and a chunk of books from Games Workshop, but I don't get all the stuff from Games Workshop. Certainly nowhere near all the stuff. And I don't get anywhere near all the books from Games Workshop either. So, and it's the books. When you run in like a dozen armies, that's, how much is a codex? Like 30, 40, 50 quid, whatever. That times that by 12. That's just the books. And then the paints and things. So, a lot of money. I couldn't figure out that... how much? Yes, much money. Hi, Joseph. Ask them, it was because I wanted to collect. Do you still have the Athon Shan sprue? I gave it to Sultan. I did a short. I got this one. Still, I'm keeping that one because I'm going to paint in blue. And I gave Athon Shan. The new chapter master of Raven Guard to Sultan, because he's got 3,000 points of painted Raven Guard. He's got every single first founding chapter now for the Space Marines. Of the 9 chapters, there was one he didn't have. -1. Dark Angels. He doesn't have Dark Angels. Apart from the Dark Angels, he's got all the other 8. Not Imperial Fist, Black Templars, but same thing. You know what I mean? Arnold Spoon has been a member for 17 months. Thank you very much. You never ask a woman her age, a man her salary, a plastic crack addict how much he spends on plastic toys. Because a proper plastic crack addict couldn't tell you how much they spend. How much have you spent? Guys, here's the thing then. Here's the thing. How much, roughly, do you spend on the Warhammers a year? Okay? And the best way to figure it out is... figure out how much you spend each month. Times that by 12. Oh my God. So on that note, I probably spend about £5,000 a year. Because I spend around 400 a month every month on this hobby. So that's 5k a year going back a long ass way. 1 minute. £5,000 a year. So after 10 years, was I spending that much when I met her? I was spending, no, because when we met, it was, the budget was 400 a month. And it wasn't spending that much. I was spending about half. So I want to say I've spent in 10 years, it won't be 50,000. In 10 years, it'll be something like £30,000 in 10 years. And then the previous 10 years before that, that'll be less because there wasn't a channel then. Yeah, a lot. I spent nearly 2K on one model. Yeah, me too. 1,500 a year. Nice. That's good. That's a nice, no more than that Eternal Crusader. Never asked that question. Sorry. Warhammer is very cheap. Say it loudly into the camera so my wife hears and believes this. I'm amazed by how cheap Warhammer is these days. It's so cheap. Blood Buffalo's wife must be so pleased that her husband has got such a cheap hobby. It's so much cheaper than spending all that money on Kraken hookers. Why do you say in the short that no one plays Imperial Fists? No one plays. I don't know any. Who plays Imperial Fists? They're yellow. So 75,000 since I came back 4 years ago. Oh, 7,500. Okay, 7,500. Can't wait for people who can't understand sarcasm. Right. I think she bought it. Frank, what was that? I have a question. Is it possible for members to get a longer window to buy event tickets? King of the North was gone before I heard about it. It only went to members. So I'm sorry about that. King of the North sells out in a day. March of Winters last year. See, my narrative event, it took me about a month to sell all those tickets. And March of Winters, my other event, took about a week to sell all the tickets. But something about Brap's King in the North, it sells within a day. Every single, and that's members only. It's only for members. If I don't sell out an event, I will put a thing on the main channel talking about the event. But I didn't have to do a video like that about the end of the death. I just mentioned it in the live stream a couple of times. And then the last 6 or 7 tickets were sold, you know. But yeah, something about King of the North, it sells out straight. And clearly the March of Winters event that I run is much better than Brap's King of the North. I mean, that's, you don't want to come anyway. King of the North is, you know, it's an A. It's an A. It's an A. It's an A. Okay? But not an A+. That's all I'm saying. Where are we? 3K to 4K a year across 4 game systems, 7 armies. Yep. I could probably make an army out of my bits box. Yep. Quipster plays Imperial Fists. Does he? I don't know anyone who plays Imperial Fists. That's an accurate number when I go hit the hobby. For yeah. How should I take my fists to King? Now I should take my fist to King of the North. What is King of the North and why is it ending? King of the North is so back in the DZ days, we ran a lot more community events down here, down in the south. There was more of us and lockdown and trying things out and growing this and growing that and doing all the things and things. Because all the events were down here, Brap decided to run his own community event up north at Element Games in Manchester, and he called it King of the North because the North's better than the South. And I supported it. It's all over the community thing. It's for the ran by the community for the community. We've had a number of events ran by the community for the community. Plant did his Chaos thing at Swansea, at Farstorm Games in Swansea. I went to that. That was amazing. Just Craig has run a community event for the community, a heresy event down south. There's still community events happening. And Brap he started doing a event up north because there was none being done up north. And now what's happened is now it's just me. there's a couple events a year every single year. A couple events a year every single year. And I'm sponsored by Element Games, so we do them at Element Games. So that we go up north. I do the narrative event at March of Witness, we go up north. And Brap's like, why am I still doing this up here if you're coming up here now? I want to go to the event. I don't want to run it and sit behind the thing. I want to play at the thing and get drunk. Why do I have to work out the scores and then ring the people up and book the thing in and then get the thing for the thing and then set the tables up and then it's a bit of work? I don't want to do any of the work. It's fun being there and talking to people and hanging out and all that. It's all fun. It's all fun being an organizer, but it's a bit of work being an organizer. It's much easier turning up, playing, getting drunk, going home again. Easy. So he's like, I'm not doing it anymore, seeing as you're doing all the things up here anyway. I want to come to your events. So he's doing one more King of the North, which is January, February. It's February 7th. It's already sold out, but it's always at the end of January. One more King of the North, and then I'll take over that slot. And so King of the North will continue at the end of January, beginning of February, every single year. It's just that I'll do it, not Brap. And Brap will still be there, and Brap will come along, and it'll still be the same old shenanigans, but Brap will get to play, but he won't let me call it King of the North. I said, I might as well just call it King of the North. If it's filling your slot and doing your same thing, and we're following this, if it's the same thing, only that instead of me over here getting drunk and playing, which is what I do at King of the North, and you stood over there doing all the organising, we're switching places. And now you're getting drunk and being annoying, and I'm stood over there doing all the organising. It's still the same thing. Can't I call it King in the North, please? And he went, no, if you call it King in the North, I'll kill you. I was like, oh, okay. Death threats, is it? He said, yes, death threats. I'll take off and nuke the site from orbit, only way to be sure. He said, you can call it Queen in the South. And well, that doesn't make sense because one, I'm not a queen, and two, it's not in the south, it's in the far north, and three, I couldn't think of the third thing to say. I tried to think of a smart comeback, but nothing was coming. He said you could call it Dickhead Runs Another Event, and I went, yes, well, while that would be accurate, it doesn't have quite the ring to it, does it? Also, when you started your one, King of the North, Game of Thrones was still around, and then it sort of fell off at the end, and that's an unfortunate name that you've given it, King of the North. Maybe it's time to refresh the King of the North thing, because Game of Thrones was good at the start. Now we know how it ends. We're a bit like, it sort of fell off. So, maybe it's time to rename the event. Maybe we should call it Prince of, I don't know, what should we call it? Call it the Winter King. It's not even, north. It's the North Midlands. Dude, the hobo, it is so far north. It is so far. You go up that far north, the weather changes. Blue of the cheese. I'm not calling it blue of the cheese. Has a southerner ever won King of the North? Someone from South Africa won King of the North. That's about as southern as it gets. It's even got like South Africa. It's in the name. South. Someone from South Africa won. We have international guests. We have Germans. I got an email the other day from someone who's coming to the narrative event at the end of the month, and they're from Holland. So what do I call? So yeah, King of the North is evolving into a better community event because I'll be running it. It'll be better. Trap will still be there. Sultan will still be there. Monkey, all the guys will still be there doing their things, but they'll be getting drunk. But it'll be better because professional. You'll have a professional in charge. You'll have great missions like Squid Game or Cat Catcher or Winter's Wormhole, Prince of the Pennines. Doesn't work. We need a name for it. King in the North. Can I call it Kingish in the North? Kingish. King in the Northish. Sultan of Winter. Duke of the Dickheads. That would work. I'm not sure Element Games would like me to put that on the thing, but I could ask them. Duke of the Dickheads. King of the Hangover. Ace in the North. King of the Hangover? King of the Hangover. One of the King of the Norths, I was pretty wrecked the next. I had to apologise to all of my opponents. I was not well. No, it's below Scott's Corner. It's south. The north starts in Middlesbrough. The hobo, no one knows where Middlesbrough is. Okay? It's north of the Watford Gap. It's north. The trees are already bare. They've already lost their leaves, and yeah, it's north. It's cold up there. There's like there's giants. There's a wall. People with blue eyes, all that stuff, yelling at the northern clouds. Yeah. Lord of United. Cumbria is the northeast north bit of England. Is it? I thought Cumbria was in Scotland or Shetland Islands or something like that. I thought that was... Does it count as England? Manchester is the middle bit. When people start to talk funny, that's north. Birmingham's north. Birmingham? Nope, Northumbria is. What, in the Shetlands? See, down south, we talk proper like. Up north, they say things like Birmingham, which I think that's like Norwegian, I think. Something to do with Vikings, like York is something to do with Vikings. And Derby and things. It's Vikings all over it. Anyway, the north. King of the Warp. King of the Warp is a nice name. Instead of King in the North, King of the Warp. Dude, I'm writing that one down. King of the Warp. We have a sensible suggestion. Where are my post-it notes? Where's my super suit? Where are my post-it notes? Have I run out of post-it notes? King of the Warp is a good idea. We've lost all the post-it notes, guys. I can't make any notes. I'll have to... 1 minute. See, because I'll write it on a pen and paper like this, and then the pad will get lost in with all the lists. And then I'll forget where stuff is. Because, you know... Lists. Pen and Paper Club. Anyone in the Pen and Paper Club? Anyone? One in the chat. Pen and paper. This is a revolution, by the way. I think all the kids will be using it in the future. The stuff on the phones doesn't really work. Breaks down all the time. No internet connection. Wrong fins. One's in the chat. Pen and paper. See, the thing about using pen and paper, while you're writing a list with pen and paper, there's a thinking process. It's tactile. Like, do I really want that? Do I want to put that? Pen and paper. Whereas the app is, oh, slot that in, slot that in, slot that in. It's not really thinking. It's not really thinking. A bit like people in the north. 1, 1, 1, 0. Got to make lists on paper. 1, yep. 1, 1, 1, good. Wait, never mind 2. 1. I know apps. I know there are things called apps. I have apps. But I don't even have the Warhammer app. That's got a list thing on it, has it? A lot of people turn up here with a list thing on it. And I'm like, yeah, but pen and paper. Pen and paper. Good at the Warhammer. Boom, nailed it. Good. Pen and paper. Right, what else were we talking about today? Chat. What else are we talking about today? I wrote down a few more things, and now I've lost my page. We mentioned the Luton thing. What else? Greg Shimonin, you're a bit late. Greg. It's a 1. It's nice, but it's a bit late. I mean... I'd normally expect Eternal Crusader to come in that late. Particularly as he's mostly at the back of the class through most of the live streams. But, yeah. Tomorrow, Grey Knights, I think I mentioned that. Versus Raven Wing. Grey Knights versus Raven Wing. Anyone? I was thinking about putting this one out on a Sunday, but I'm shuffling around some of the things. Because Just Craig is coming on Friday to do a 30k one. And I'm going to actually edit that one on Friday for the Sunday. Because I'm also filming another 30k one on the Saturday. So the 30k battle reports We used to do like 240k, one heresy, 240k, one heresy, 240k, one heresy. Did that all the way through most of 10th edition since Heresy 2.0 dropped. Because that was the number of opponent. That's how many fights. And now the heresy... Now people have got Heresy 3.0 and played it a bit. I've got quite a few Heresy games coming up. So I need to get back to 240k, one Heresy, 240k, one Heresy, 240k, one Heresy. And because... So the Just Craig one that I'm filming on Friday will slot in on the Sunday. And then there's a couple of other 40k ones there that can get pushed because... Yeah, and then that'll... Because I don't want to have like 3 Heresy ones in a row on the channel. Because it's not as popular as 40k. But yeah, that's getting to a new rhythm. Have we covered Drukhari getting an article launch? No. What? Back in my day, we had our lists tattooed. Hey, Eternal Crusader, you have behaved today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ooh, better make it a good one then. Yeah, Just Craig, I was thinking to save WhatsApp, Loyalist Sons of Horus on Friday. Loyalist Sons of Horus? You can do Loyalist Sons of Horus. Yeah. If you want to do Loyalist Good Guy Sons of Horus, you can. Or you can do 4,000 points and bring a Primarch. If you do Bad Guy Sons of Horus, 4,000 points, bring a Primarch. I'll bring Raven Guard with Korax. And Korax is one of the weakest Primarchs now. He has an AP3 attack. He's the only one I can find that has an AP3 attack. Well, he has 2 attacks. He can do the AP3 one or the AP2 one. But the AP3 one, is that 1 damage? The AP2 one is 2 damage. Anyway. What else? Or if you want to do the Loyalist ones, Loyalist Sons of Horus, then I need to do Bad Guys. Then I'd probably throw Emperor's Children at you and we would stick it on Istvan 3. I think. Because I don't think we've seen any Emperor's Children yet on the channel. It's a game for a Sunday, dealer's choice. What do you, the group, want to see? Against Mortarion, it's all 1 damage. Against most Primarchs, it's all 1 damage because of Eternal Warrior 2. And Mortarion and Vulcan have Eternal Warrior 3. Yeah. Do we want to see Primarchs? Do we want to see Horus on the channel? Normal Horus, not Horus Ascended already. We could do that. I think Primarchs. Off the top of my head, Primarchs. And I know the Raven Guard collection that I had was quite strong in 2.0, but in 3.0, I was talking to Alex about it the other day. It's like my Raven Guard collection has got 2 hammers in it. The rest is all claws and other close combat weapons. And in 3.0, you can get a lot more fists and hammers all over the place. And you need a lot more fists and hammers all over the place, that damage too, to kill Terminators. And command squads are a thing. And Terminator command squads are... So, there isn't... And claws sound good. Rend on a 6, breach on a 6. But they're all 1 damage all the time. And how many 6s can you roll? With no re-rolls, no modifiers. It's... Claws... are not the way, and also pair of claws everywhere, expensive. Pair of claws expensive. Claws are not the wave on your Terminators and on your command squads in 3.0. A couple of claws here and there, nice, but lots of claws here or there, they're not killing as much as a unit. Say you had 10 Terminators and you had like all 10 of them have got claws, and they'll fight 10 Terminators, and 5 of them are fists or hammers, and the other 5 just are power weapons, power axes, power swords, whatever you want. The 10 with all the claws, and you spent all the upgrades and all the 10 with all the claws, versus the 5 with all the hammers and fists, and they've only spent 5 on the part 2 wins. The hammers and fists win. So my Heresy collection of Raven Guard There's claws everywhere. I need to make a unit with a bit more punch. I need to make a command squad with the B keys, with jump packs, with combat shields, and put like 4 or 5 fists in there. Or I need to... Yeah, I need some close combat punch because I've got that unit of Terminators and the Dark Furies, but that's about it. And they all have claws. And I got 1 Dreadnought, so I could add a few more Dreadnoughts. I need more punch. And then gun-wise, I haven't got any tanks in the entire Raven Guard collection except for 1 Rhino. Everything's on foot. Everything's jumping around all over the place, either with jump packs or this stuff with sniper rifles or tactical marines or da-da-da. Which is fluffy as all hell. The fact that everything's fast, everything's mobile, everything's speedy, and there's a Rhino. But what I need to do, as well as some close combat punch, is add another Rhino, add some more tactical marines, and add a tank or 2 for 3.0. The collection is so laser focused on Decapitation Strike and Recon Company, Rite of Wars from 2.0, that the collection needs 2 or 3 or 4 units added to it to pull it, tipping to pull it back the other way. I've noticed that with the Raven Guard and the Death Guard in particular. My Emperor Children are fine, Sons of Horus are fine, World Eaters are fine, and the Iron Hands are fine, and the Mechanicum's fine, and I haven't really looked in depth at the Custodes yet, other than to know that I can bring all 5 of my heavy choices, and beforehand I could bring 3, so they're fine. And all Custodes in Heresy 3.0 all get Eternal Warrior 1, including the Dreadnought, so they're definitely fine and still very broken. So 2 of the legions need tweakage. Not tweakage, but I need to add 3 or 4 or 5 chonking different things. So the collection is weak, so it adds a bit of weight to the collection. There's a rant. I want all the heresy. Me too. Always happy to see big heresy on the field. Done. I really can manipulate up to... Yeah, bring 4K and Horus on Friday. I'll bring 4K and Corax, and I'll spend most of the game running away from Horus. What's new there? I think we've done Horus versus Corax in 2nd edition. And I made sure... Oh, yeah, you did charge me with Horus. Horus and Corax met. There was much blood, big wow. Corax survived with a couple of wounds left and hit and run and got the hell out of there. And Corax started murdering some other things. And left Horus on his own to murder. Because Horus will smush Corax into the ground. Particularly in the new edition. So, yes. So we'll run them. How many 30k Primarchs do you have? Fulgrim's up there. He's not painted. We've got Ferris. Ferris, Horus, Angron. I've got 1 for all the legions. I've got 6 legions. So Ferris, Horus, Angron, Corax. There's another one. Mortarion. A Fulgrim I need to paint. I've got a Fulgrim backlog. I've got a Fulgrim for 30k I need to paint and a Fulgrim for 40k I need to paint. I'm in a Fulgrim backlog right now. Fulgrim is backing me up. But I've just finished off the Emperor's Children Rhinos. They're done now. Last week I showed you work in progress. Working on this now. The Land Raider for the Emperor's Children. And I ordered some demons for the Emperor's Children. In 40k, do you think the double amount of attacks for intercessors firing at the same target is going to add some variation? I like it a lot. I think it makes them a bit more threatening. Yes, I like it a lot too. An intercessor squad firing 40 shots instead of 20 shots, particularly with lethal hits, with a lieutenant around, particularly with, you can do things like, what's it called? Not fire protocols, fire discipline. You can make them really, really sting. And bolter weaponry should feel threatening. This is Warhammer 40k. There's a lot of Space Marines. Lots of people think Warhammer Space Marine 2, there's a lot of bolt weaponry in there. Bolter weaponry needs to feel threatening. Not too threatening, not too threatening. But when someone shoots you with some mass reactive rounds, particularly a lot of them, it needs to do some killing. I think Heresy 3.0 does that quite well. It's not super killy, but it is killy enough. And I think 40k, yeah, it's a bunch of intercessors running around with 40 shots with lethal hits is a fruity, particularly when you have something like Oath of Moment on a target as well. So you get the reroll the hits and you get +1 to wound if you're a first founding chapter. It feels fruity. I like that rule. It's okay, but it's a shame that bolters barely tickle. If you put Oath of Moment on a target, you can kill it. If it's only got a 4-up invulnerable save, such as a Catan, and you're rerolling all hits with +1 to wound, you can kill a Catan with 1 unit of intercessors. It's nice. Yeah, I wish it was 2 damage. Yeah, it's heavy bolt is 2 damage. Autocannon's 2 damage. Bolt weaponry 1 damage. The problem isn't the damage of the bolter. The problem is there's so many things now with 3 wounds and toughness 5, toughness 6 through. There's a lot of. Have you noticed the 4 wounds? 4 wounds is getting quite common now. At the start of 10th edition, how many things actually had 4 wounds? Wraiths? What else had 4 wounds at the start of the edition? Not a lot of stuff. But now there's 4 wounds. 4 wounds is spreading across the battlefields of the 41st millennium. 4 wounds and 3 wounds. 3 wounds are very common now. And 4 wounds are getting more and more and more common. Fiends, in the Emperor's Children book, when that came out, they have got 4 wounds. Autocannons are 3 damage. Yes, they are. Sorry. Actually, I think you'll find. So with the final codex announced for 10th, it will soon be time for the Space Marine participation box. Who comes... Yeah, I mean... Assault Terminators are coming. Deathwing Knights, yeah. Deathwing Knights, 4 wounds. 4 wounds are a thing now. They used to be super rare. Super rare. And now there's 4 wounds out there. There's a lot more 3 wound stuff and even more 4 wound stuff. Like Toughness 7. Toughness 7 was super rare. Remember when Toughness 6 was it? And now Toughness 7 with Death Guard and things like that. Toughness 7 used to be like tank level of toughness, speeder level of toughness, and now it's like a guy in Terminator plate. So yeah, it's the damage in the AP is fine against the things you want to shoot mass reactive rounds at, like demons and guard and Tau and stuff, and tissue paper Eldar. It's when you're firing them at a toughness 7 3 wound brute, it's hard to get through. Bolt gun should have a 50-50 chance to kill a standard orc. Oath of Moment +1 to wound is extremely good. It is. I like it. Removes benefit. It's extremely good and a bit broken, because you can Oath of Moment a target, such as a Titan. Space Marines firing at a Reaver Titan. Here's the thing. 40 intercessors firing at a Reaver Titan. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling all hits. This is a Titan, and you're wounding on 5s. And it'll have a 4-up save. I don't care how many Space Marines fire at a Titan with bolters. The answer to that equation should be no damage. None. It's a Titan. But in the current rule set, the answer is about 6 wounds. I think the +1 to wound, too much against a Titan. Yeah, I know. So that's how strong +1 to wound is. +1 strength, you see. I've said it before, actually. Like, you can get stuff which is like reroll 1s to hit, or reroll this to hit, or +1 to hit, or -1 to hit, or those rules, pluses and minuses to hit, or pluses or minuses to strength. They're nice. Having a reroll 1s to hit, plus, they're all nice rules. But the strongest rule, when you're looking through a codex, a new codex, when you're looking at a new faction, if you've got something in there that is a -1 to wound, not a -1 to strength or a +1 to strength, but a -1 to wound or a +1 to wound, That is one of the strongest mechanics to look out for. -1 to wound is so strong that there's a lot of stratagems now, which is this: if the strength is higher than the toughness, it'll be -1 to wound. Like at the start of the edition, they were saying things like, oh, -1 to wound, -1 to wound, -1. And then they found out how broken that was, because they don't even know how to write their own rules. They put in a bunch of stuff saying this stratagem only kicks in if the strength of the weapon is higher than the toughness, then it's -1 to wound. Because -1 and +1 to wound, I was saying that back in 7th edition, man. Back at the start of the YouTube, it's a strong one. It's one to look forward to when I'm doing Codex reviews and stuff. I look for the pluses and minuses of wound. Daka. Right, where did we get to? Chat. I ordered demons. Did I mention about the demons I ordered? I ordered some demons. I'm going to go full chaos. I started off as a good Imperial boy. And then I got the Death Guard. And then I got the Emperor's Children. And I don't want to add the demons to the Death Guard, because I know they're in the Death Guard Codex. But the demons in the Death Guard Codex just add a bit of resilience. But you don't need resilience if you're running Death Guard, because they're already pretty resilient. So they're adding more of the same. So I'm looking at it going, I don't really want to add those things to my Death Guard army. But when I look at the demons in the Emperor's Children, I'm going to go full demon. Because squishy and speed. They're squishier, but they're speedier, which is nice. Because Emperor's Children are already speedy, but Demonettes are speedy. Fiends like move 14. And when Emperor's Children and Demon units are close to each other, they both give each other sustained hits. So there's they add something to the Emperor's Children, you know. What demons did I order? For now, 30 Demonettes and 6 Fiends. So that'd be 3 units of 30 Demonettes, 6 Fiends. 6 Fiends are like 250 points, 260 points running around. They're quite nice. Strength 5, -2, 2 damage, devastating wounds. Move 14. They're quite nice. I think they're fights first or devastating. No, the Demonettes are fights first. But demons to back up the shooting and the guns, you know? Winters, the Inquisition better not fight. Look, the Inquisition think I'm a good Imperial boy. We're all good Imperial citizens here, really. Did you like the new detachments for the Raven Guard and the Imperial Fists? Yes. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a squishy time. Your knowledge is amazing. Is it? I'm just very, very old, Andrew. One day, but I'm not as old as Sullivan Gilbert or Sven Daxfist. Those guys are ancient. I'm nowhere near as old as those guys. I'm pretty old, but not as old as them. And one day, you'll be old too, and you'll be respected by the younger generation. They'll look up to you and go, Gandalf, why are you so wise and intelligent? And you'll go, it just comes with age. It's just, and I'm humble, so you don't have to big me up. You don't have to gas me up, bro. I've got all the gas inside me. I'm full of gas. But thanks. That's what'll happen. The nurgly gas will be deep inside you. It just comes with age. The knowledge, the wisdom, the respect, the bad knees. My knees are fine. It's the back. How are we doing, chat? What have we got left to get through? Demons. Yes, I'm falling to demons. End voice. But you are very, very old. Yes, falling to demons. I think the slide to chaos is inevitable. If you've been in the hobby long enough, I think the Eternal Crusader will be getting a chaos army at some point. I think Blood Buffalo, he's pretty much there already. Be nice if Battle Line Demon units could be more than 10 models. Looking forward to seeing Winter's Emperor's Children and Demon. It's going to be a while. See, the Eternal Crusader has several chaos stuff. The slide to chaos is inevitable. It's going to be a while. I need to finish that, finish the guy up there. It'll be a couple of months. But we are looking for our first win with Emperor's Children. It's a struggle. It's been a struggle because I refuse to bend to the meta. I refuse. And it turns out that if you don't lean into the meta when your codex has no options in it, you've got to pick the options that are the meta options. Because if you pick any of the other options that are not the meta options, you'll get your ass handed to you again and again and again. It's like, I might need to bring a lawyer to next week's. Did I mean you're wise and old, Sullivan Gilbert? Intelligent, good looking. You got the silver locks. You know, I bet young children come up to you in the street and say, "Hey Santa, can I have a present for Christmas?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm not Santa." Ha ha ha. But I, you know, things like that. I'm a good boy. Blood Buffalo, Blood Angels. Yeah, I was a good loyalist first year. I was a good loyalist for first years of Warhammer. Then I got corrupted to Xenos and then Chaos. Yes, at the start, a nice loyalist, and then the slide to Chaos is inevitable. The meta is why I left 40k. Long live 30k, dude. Yeah, it's This edition, competitive edition. 10th edition, the competitive edition. 11th edition can be the competitive edition as well. And why can't we have both? Why can't we have the competitive edition with some narrative flavored in? I mean, play 40k your way. I play 40k my way. Me and Luton at the weekend, we played 40k our way. And we had a lot of fun. And I recommend that you play 40k your way as well. Make up your own missions. Make up your own rules. Make up your own detachments. Make up whatever you want to do if you want to. They are your toy soldiers. You can play them however you want to play them. And the competitive stuff is quite nice as well. If you lean into it, you can do both. Why not both? I've always been a Chaos player since I saw the Renegades box for Epic back in the 90s. Yeah. Some people already start off down the path, the ruin and chaos. Some people start there. But the Inquisitors showed us the way, right? You start off as a Puritan, and then if you live long enough as an Inquisitor, you will become a radical. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And in a grim, dark world of Warhammer 40k, I think we all become villains in the end. I think. What about the path of the Xenos? Nah, screw those guys. I went in all on the bad guys day one. The path of the Xenos. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Does that count? I got orcs, and Tyranids, and Necrons and things. There's only really 4 Xenos factions, right? Here's the orcs, Tyranids, Necrons, and then the Eldar stuff. But that's pretty much it. Oh no, we've got the Votan now. But the Votan are human-ish, descendants of, and the Eldar don't count. So there's only really 3. There's only really 3. Yeah. I have Tyranids, but that was mostly the 10th box. That was a good box, the 10th box. Tau. Oh yeah, Tau. They count. I like Tau. Tau are nice. Tau are good. Because they're different. Different is good. We like different. Different is good. I like the Gundam thing even in 40k. The galaxy is a very, 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 very big place. So there's enough space in it for all the Tau. So I like that. I like the 5th sphere of expansion, the fact that they've gone off the rails a little bit because of the 5th sphere of expansion. I like the fact that Farsight is kind of like Horus. Is going off in his own way on his own as well. Yeah. It's everyone thinks he's cool. All his dudes think he's super cool, but is he? So I kind of like that. It's the Tau are cool. They've got their own unique identity. Like the Tyranids are cool. They've got their own unique identity. Why didn't split the game into 2 different game modes like match and narrative play? They don't need to split the game into two. The game can be the same. Well, the rules. They don't split the rules into two. The rules can be the rules can be the rules. But we need mission types, more than one mission type. So the game you play can be the competitive game that you play. And then there could be another type of missions, which has Maelstrom War missions, open war missions, narrative missions, can have another. You can have both. We used to have both. We could have both again. I just wish the Tau had melee that wasn't crew. Yeah. Laser katana crisis suits, damn it. They used to have something called, because you got XV8 crisis suits. They used to have XV9 crisis suits, close support suits, and they had all the flamers or all the assault cannons on, and they were tougher, and they had a rule which they could disengage and shoot. They were Forge World models, so they didn't have punchy punch in close combat, but they had suits that were designed to get closer and be tougher and break away after they've done all the firing. That's something they could definitely bring into the Tau Codex in 11th edition, 12th edition, whenever they could, because XV88's cool. We like the suits. Cold Star, cool. All the suits, all the Gundam stuff look cool. Make a chunkier XV99, XV9 close hazard support suits, again in plastic with, and then because it comes out in plastic, then it could have like laser blades on, laser with, you know, you could have them. Line cutters, which are like 6-inch range, that all have pistol that you could use in close combat, and a rule where they could fall back and shoot, something like that. They could easily introduce gun type of stuff in close combat with the pistol mechanic and devastating wounds mechanic. You could bring it in. And new models, chonky, and sell a suit. Tau love the suits. We all love the suits. We like looking at the suits. That's the unique Tau thing. Make more of them. I mean, they don't need me to tell them that. They're making more and more of them all the time. They make more. They make the big guy, the little guy, the cardboard box. So, yeah. Dark Mechanicum next. Dark Mechanicum probably 3rd edition. 11th edition. 3rd edition? Where did that come from? Dark Mechanicum, looking forward to it. Looking forward to a bit of Dark Mechanicum. Yes, anyway, I think I covered all the things. I think I roasted Sullivan Gilbert this stream to hell and back. I don't know why I started on you, Sullivan Gilbert. I apologise. I don't know where it came from. It just started coming and I couldn't stop it. Maybe because I was so happy the other day that I met someone who was older than me, and that's only ever happened once before, and that was you. I'm not the same. I'm not the sort of person to go on and on and on about the same thing again and again and again. Okay, I've barely mentioned the No Retreat Legend of Legends champion for like ages now. Humble, you got to be humble. Yes. So, thanks for watching this week's Talky Tuesday live stream. Sullivan Gilbert, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for all the support and the donations and all the love and things. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. Look after your teeth, guys. Look after your teeth. Seriously, look after your teeth. And stay hydrated. Okay? And have fun out there with the Warhammers. Press this. Click this. Happy wargaming.